Welcome to the show with Alamgir Khan. Today's program is on development. Development is a widely used word across the world and in developing countries like Bangladesh and elsewhere. But development has multiple aspects: political, economic, social, and many others. Here in Bangladesh, we are very much familiar with the word development. Governments say that they are developing the country. There are hundreds of NGOs who are working for the development of the people. But there are many issues which should have in-depth discussion. In today's discussion, we have Ahmad Bashir, a very seasoned development activist. Welcome, Ahmad Bashir, to our program. Ahmad Bashir is not only a development activist, he is also a prolific writer. He is a novelist, a story writer and essayist. There are 6 novels, 4 storybooks and an essay book to his name. He has spent most of his life, almost all his professional career in the development sector. He has worked with international organizations, with government organizations and national development organizations. We will discuss with him about many aspects of development. First of all, Mr. Ahmad Bashir, we would like to know about your development career, especially how and why you entered into development sector, and in short about some experience, your journey in the sector.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about my experience with development journey. Thank you. Yes, I am a very old man, so I have already crossed 70 years. So I have started my journey in the development field in 80s. After coming out from the Dhaka University, I was engaged in some journalism. And at that time, UNICEF was searching someone who has the skill for journalism as well as development journalism. That is defining the stories and success stories, all about these informations. And editing their newsletter and developing some development programs, audiovisual programs. So they have selected me and they had a program where I joined, and then I started supporting different NGOs like Village Education Resource Center, Caritas Bangladesh, BRAC, and so many who are receiving supports from UNICEF. So in that way, it was the development communication was the main focus at that time, I felt. But after a few years, I switched over my career and then I became a development practitioner. I got some experience as well as educational training in development fields, and I became a development consultant for different NGOs and government organizations. So I worked for a water development board, local government engineering department, Department of Agriculture Extension, and at the end I was recruited in the workforce of USAID, and I was looking at the energy sector of them, and I was entrusted with the responsibility for Rural Electrification Board especially. Along with that, I have contributed in designing different programs and evaluation of the different programs of NGOs. So I have, to some extent, I have experience with the NGOs field and their programming.
Of course, this experience we want to know from you. But you know that everything evolves. There is evolution in everything. So there is some evolution also in the development in Bangladesh, in the development activities. When it started in the post-independence Bangladesh, the development activities during that time, and now there is a lot of difference, and it will be more different in the future. Now, can you tell us something about how it started in the country and where it has come now?
Yes. When I started the NGO activities, that was the infancy period of the NGOs at that time, I should say, because after the liberation, there were few NGOs, national level NGOs, who were working for the country, rural developments and other things. Before that, in Pakistan period, there was two main organizations, NGOs, we should say. One was the Anjumani Mufidul Islam,
Right.
that is from the dead body.
Right.
And another one was Family Planning Association of Bangladesh, FPAB, that was for the birth. So those two organizations were at the very beginning of Pakistan period.
Right.
But after Pakistan period, when our liberation struggle started, then the BRAC started its activities. Fazli Hassan Abid, he received funding from the Oxfam and others, and their main objectives, main focus was to relief and rehabilitation. Even the name of the BRAC was initially Relief Committee.
Right.
Bangladesh Relief and Assistance Committee, BRAC. And then afterwards they understood that relief and rehabilitation is not the ultimate panacea of the people concerned. And they started off looking at the needs of the people. And that revolutionized the entire NGO system in the world. Before this 80s, all the NGOs were looking at the national perspective, and they were not looking at the rural activities and the responses from the rural people.
Right.
They had a top-down approach.
Right.
At that time, the NGOs came up with their own programming, and we, the people, were receiving their programs.
Right.
But BRAC revolutionized. BRAC, along with some other NGOs.
Also, Ganashastha Kendra, maybe, led by Dr.
Jafar Chaudhary. We should first assess the needs of the people.
Right.
And then assessing the needs, then we will design our program, and that program should be supported by you donor people or others. So in that way, the BRAC and other NGOs, CCDV, Caritas, those organizations, they started the small credit.
Right.
It's a kind of small credit, but it is a revolution, because it makes the sense that who wants credit?
Right.
The community people want credit. Why credit? Because the resources is there, resource to be mobilized. They should be assisted in respect of their livelihood.
Right.
Not that the relief, I am one time giving you your relief or some operational material, so you look at your life. So in that time,
so the transformation is also from the donor fund project to the own fund projects, especially income generating projects. This is also a transformation.
The seed money started from the government organization and also the national organizations. We borrowed money from the banks, we borrowed money from the groups, and the NGOs came up with their money. So the donors, they also started a funding for the small credit.
At that time, NGOs used to work lots of different things, especially not only for income generating activity, they also used to work in education, healthcare, in environment, in lots of things. Don't you think that this kind of activities are now coming down? Is it because the stream of foreign fund is drying up? Is this the reason, or there is other reason?
Yeah, but I should not say that it is diminishing or anything, because the approach of the donors has been changed, as well as the need of the people is also changed.
Yeah.
What really actually we are doing from the NGO side, we are facilitating community, entire national, to govern their own activities, isn't it?
Right.
That governance should be shared by the government part as well as the people's part.
Yeah.
So NGO activities are really providing assistance to the people for taking share of the government part.
But you know that there is a lot of controversy in this thing, especially a very big debate with the government and the NGO people. You know that many governments don't give credit to the NGOs that they are contributing to the development. NGOs, maybe NGOs exaggerate their contribution. They say that we have been doing lots of things. On the other hand, governments say we are doing these things. So how do you explain this thing?
For providing credit.
Yeah.
Because government's credit goes to the NGOs. NGOs is the representative of the people.
Right.
So NGOs should understand that if the government takes the credit, that credit, if the NGOs are participating in their program, credit goes to the community people, to the people concerned, the NGOs as well as the government side.
Right.
Who is the owner of the government?
Of
People
course,
are the owner
people.
of the government.
Of course, people are the owner of the government.
It matters very little who is
Yeah,
taking credit,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it matters.
But there are some bad
after
feelings between the government.
that has to be sorted out, and
Right.
because there is the philosophy of understanding, the
Right.
philosophy of the sharing resources of the national resources by the two different parts,
Right.
that we should understand first, and then we will nurture that. So the program is very important. When
Yeah,
we are
yeah.
defining the programs for the NGOs, those are going with the trickle-down approach, or it is going from the trickle-up approach. We should know about that.
Yep, NGOs are
participation.
trying to do the program in a bottom-up approach, I think, not in the trickle-down approach. But you see, I think you will admit with me that the NGO approach to the development activities, there has been a lot of change. Because the early period NGO leaders, development leaders like Fazl Hassan Abed, Dr. Jafrullah Chaudhary, and many others, those who had been working in that time after in the post-independent period, and also other development leaders, they were very much concerned about the awareness of the people. They had lots of program to build up the awareness of the people. There are human rights, there are other rights, and some books are widely widely read, especially the Pedagogy of the Oppressed by Paulo Freire. This reading habit was widespread in that time.
First.
Yeah, but now you see that there has been some shift in the development activities. This type of discussion, reading has now diminished in the sector.
I think this has been done because some bureaucratic approach in the development in the NGO world, because
Right.
the NGOs are not very enthusiastic to go through those books,
Yeah.
and following their credos of development, how the concentration is really meant for,
Right.
how the people will be assisted, and how the people should know about their own resources, their own energy.
Right.
Those things, those training is really required inside of these NGOs. And other way, I look into this development field in another viewpoint is that when the Abed and others, they were working for the community awareness has already been done. Because at that time, when we entered the villages, we found people who disassociated from the whole world. In that time, after 1971, the devastated period, and people were self-centered. All the villages were self-centered. Now, at this age of AI, people are aware of their rights. People are aware their responsibilities, civil rights, everything, human rights, everything. Now, what really need? We need the action. We need the action. We need the activities first. Another way that the socio-economic status, really we are meaning for the economic sociology. It's not the sociology for the economic. It's the economic sociology, because by this way the people are aware of their rights, they understood their responsibilities, and also they understood how to take share of their cakes from the national economy, national budget. And that is why people are running for, NGOs are running for. So now you see that people are not in the villages.
Many of them have come in the urban areas.
In the Upazila, in the district, and outside of this country.
Right, outside.
A good portion of the people are outside of this country. So they should also be addressed.
Right.
They should also be addressed, and they should come into this development arena. We are not looking for them.
Right.
So their preference should also be considered and accordingly. So I think the understanding of the community, understanding the community participation, those are the prime need for the development workers. As my experience says so.
It seems to me that at the beginning of the development activities in the country, in the post-independent Bangladesh, people's participation was very strong in the development activities. But now it seems that NGOs are doing the activities almost. Their approach is also evolving into a top-down approach. It seems to me that top-down approach is also coming into the practice in the NGO activities. and development activists nowadays, they are focusing also, most of the time they are focusing on credit program or income generating activities. Many of them have stopped doing social activities. Social activities are not
right-based activities.
right. Right. These are not many in number.
We are neglecting those parts.
We are neglecting. Is it?
Suppose at the beginning of the 90s, there was the land right movement.
Right.
You know,
Big land right movement. Yes.
That has empowered the community, the
right.
villagers, the peasants, and
right.
So
led by Shamata and also other big NGOs.
Yes. And also the EDAB also played a
big role. EDAB also played a very big role.
Now not the function. And now you think the gender concern.
Yeah.
Who has taught gender concern in this Bangladesh? NGOs have come up with this concept that yes, gender is a concern. It's for the people. And the big achievement of the NGOs is gender, understanding the gender, men as well as women. Earlier, people had the understanding that the gender is concerned only for women, but it's not for the women; it's as well as the men. So this understanding is being built up by the NGOs. This training of the NGOs, the books, the posters, others.
It is a big contribution. Almost everyone admits that women empowerment is a big achievement by NGOs. They have contributed a lot to bring women out of their houses.
That is why I say, or we should say, that the target group of the NGOs should be changed. If the target groups are changed, then automatically the viewpoints of the NGO workers will be changed. We should target where are your beneficiaries are now. Your beneficiaries are now in the garments workers.
Yeah, right. Right.
A big chunk of the people are now working in the garments, and they are not in the villages. They are outside of the villages. So village power structure has been changed. Then a good number of people are abroad. A good number of people are working in the engineering sector. The skills have been developed.
You mentioned women empowerment. Women's empowerment is, of course, a big achievement. Also, NGOs worked a lot in health sector, especially in basic health sector, basic health right, and also basic education in the remote areas to the very poor children, children of the ultra poor people in churches, in remotest areas in the country. They ran their education centers, and it played a big role in uplifting the poor of the people. Some other things, can you name women empowerment, health sector, like this, the NGO contributions to some other sectors? Can you mention?
Yeah, health is a big achievement for the Bangladesh. The health sector is really, earlier the health sector was overburdened with the people, but in lieu of the people, the beneficiaries were very little. But after the intervention of these NGOs, the health education, the information of the health
early childhood care,
spread around the countries. So people are taking care of themselves, and especially you see this cholera. Is the eradication of the cholera, and also the achievements of our immunization program. Big achievements in our country, I should say. Now these are not very important because people are already concerned. People are taking care of their health and resources. We have community health resources. The community health clinics are there. So who has made
these are not functioning? In fact,
no, not functioning. That is that it has to be looked out. It has to be evaluated. But the program has it already. This is the achievement. The program is built at the community level. Healthcare system, we have built it. Right. I should say this at the
so you see that there is an evolution from the post-independent Bangladesh, from the relief and rehabilitation to the small credit. Now the credit program has also evolved into big credits. It is not a small credit. Small credits are very few. In fact, there are big credits, especially development of small entrepreneurship. There is a big effort in developing.
These kinds of programs are extraordinary in this world.
Right.
Bangladesh is a new model.
Right. But do you think any danger now in the sector that there has been going some deviation from the early goals and objectives of changing the lives of the poor. Is there any division that NGOs? There are many questions about NGO leaders. You know that foreign funds came here in the country, and some of it went to the grassroots people, but many went into the pockets of the development leaders themselves. Their office became very big. They became very rich. This happened all over the country. So there are many questions about NGOs. And now you see that is there any change? Is there any shift in from the goal and objective of the early development leaders from changing the lives of the people, uplifting their life to a new improved condition, to enrichment only themselves? Is there any deviation like this?
Yes, that is a very important factor. You know, you have to look this part in two different ways. One is the NGO programming, another one is NGO administration. So
right.
if you look at the NGO administration, there is a bureaucratic approach. I understand the gap between the lower class and upper class salary gap,
right.
and the facilities gap, and then if you look at the programming, then I should say that the concept of poverty is also changed.
Concept of poverty changed. Yeah.
Should be
right,
changed.
Right,
it should be changed
right,
because the
right.
poor people who were in 1971, poor people who were in 1980s, those poor people are not the same. So
right.
now the poor people has some extraordinary, some extra avenues of their lifestyle.
Right,
They have their accessibility to the resources.
Many poor people use mobile phones also.
Mobile phones. So,
they are poor, but they use mobile phones.
So the connotation of the poverty,
Right.
we should change it, and we should understand its different dimensions. In other way, we have to.
When you said about the group of people, group of poor people came, got together at a certain place. They took credit and they took responsibility of one another, and they paid back the credit. This group approach is not in practice nowadays.
Loosely
practice, yeah, very
loosely working.
Now, is this a problem, or the NGOs have to adjust themselves to the new approach?
We have to adjust, because I say that you are not getting the group people in a remote group. The people within 1 hour, they can come to the district town, they can come to the Dhaka.
Right.
So earlier, when we thought about the group pressure, group maintenance, those people were assembled in their villages for long 1 or 2, 3 years, and then one time they used to go in their district town. But here, every day people are moving, coming and going. So,
and many are also working people. Suppose in the garments area where there are lots of garment factories, men and women are going to the factories. So it is not possible for them to get together at a certain place for taking credit. They send someone with their money. One person give the money of 5 other persons, and they come at different times. It is very hard to get them together at a certain time, at a certain place.
I should say we should redefine the programming of the NGOs. We should redefine the target groups of the NGOs. We should redefine the monitoring perspective of the NGOs, and as well as the administration of the NGOs. These 4 sides should be looked after the NGOs development.
Right.
Programming should be based on the target groups.
Right.
Needs should be assessed from the target groups. And if the programming is need-based, then you will see the NGO administration has been changed.
Right. I have another question that now the focus, as foreign fund is dwindling now, and most of the NGOs are now sustaining on the credit programs. Those who are not credit program based NGOs, they are struggling to have foreign funds, and not many are now growing up in the country. Now the focus. The focus is more on the economic, on the credit program, and getting back the money, and there is less focus on social programs. We discussed some time ago that social programs have dwindled now in the country, not only in health and education, also in environment, lots of other things there are. And another problem is that the activities of NGOs in the country are very much traditional. It is what had been going on for years in the country. Is there any innovation? Is there new thing in this development approach?
New leadership
Why?
should come.
New leadership.
New leadership should come.
And also new approach. You see the lack of new approaches. It is traditionally, and also in this traditional running of the NGOs, we see that some programs which are very vital, because if we say about Ahmad Bashir, his Development as Freedom, his book, he says that development is the primary end and principal means of development is freedom. Freedom has to be the main thing.
Of course.
Not only that you are one giving some small credit and taking it back, and we are seeing some improvement in the lives, because there are also questions. There have been going some improvements also for some people, but there are also cases or some people are also becoming poorer through these NGO activities or microcredit activities. There are some cases which come out in the media. Some people, especially because it's a big threat nowadays, that multi-credit trap. That is, one person is taking credit from multiple organizations, and he is falling into a trap. Then what happens that instead of having freedom by uplifting himself, what he or she is doing, he or she is living his village, his parental homestead, and he is escaping into town or city or into a slum area. This thing is happening in many cases. So
many cases happen, but how can we identify those problems? We have to identify those after the evaluation of these programs.
Right.
Because programs are going on.
Right.
So there should be some evaluation report. If you bring out the evaluation reports, then you can say that these evaluation reports are providing you the information that resource is concentrated with a few people's pocket.
Right.
New interventions are not undertaken.
Right. A new social programs also
are
not undertaken.
Are given out outside of the purview of your activities. So how can you say this is? We can say because we have experience in that, but the evaluation reports should identify those things, and we should learn from the evaluation reports. The learnings of evaluation are kept inside of the books only. It is not published, and it is not shared, and it is not discussed, and then the learnings are not really reused for the new development activities when you are designing, planning, and those things. That is the important.
Foreign fund is now coming down. You say, you know that there are not as many foreign funds as it was in the past. This foreign fund is coming down. Do you think it positive or negative? There are, of course, something good that we are not dependent on other funds.
On the
but there are also some problems that many NGOs are struggling. Many NGOs are not growing up. How do you look at this thing?
I look at these things, that these are positive things for a country like Bangladesh, that someday Bangladesh should stand on its own feet. That is very important.
Thanks a lot. We have learned many things from you, and I think that this discussion should continue also in the coming days, so that we can also discuss many other aspects of development. It's social, political, especially it is very much interesting. The book by Ahmad Bashir, Development as Freedom, we can also discuss these things. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I also think that these kinds of discussions is very important.
Right.
And it should not only be discussion, there should be debate.
Right.
There should be debate. The people should come with you and should debate with their view, their experiences. As you say, that the evaluation reports should be discussed. Thank you.